Hello and welcome to Precontation Points video of Snark. I read bad books so that you don't have to. I'm continuing my review of Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi. At the first video, go check out the other since they're posted below, chapter 33. Juliet looks at Adam's tattoos and asks about the bird on his chest. I kept dreaming about this white bird. Birds used to fly, you know. Since this book can't be bothered to tell me anything, I'm just gonna assume that this is post yet another war with the emus that we lost, and now we've entered into a planet of the ape-style hell ruled entirely by large flightless birds. I would ask what was even going on in Australia that they kept getting into wars with emus, but I've been face to face with emus and they are not to be messed with. Adam says that he used to dream about flying. Juliet says that she used to dream about the exact bird Adam has tattooed on his chest, but that she hasn't had the dream since he showed up in her cell. Juliet does bathroom activities, and when she comes out, Adam has made up a little bed for the two of them on the floor. I feel like that's one of those things that I should comment upon, but there's too much other garbage in this book that I need to quickly brush past, so okay. The two of them start making out, but James interrupts them and asks to sleep with them. Adam says yes, but then immediately takes James back into his room. James is crying, and Adam says some stuff about nightmares. After they leave, Juliet muses over what James must have seen at such a young age. She randomly thinks that she doesn't know what happened to her parents, but this is one of those crossed out lines, and I still don't know what to make of those. Adam comes back to her without his brother. Chapter 34. Juliet and Adam had gone to sleep with plenty of distance between them, but Juliet woke up in Adam's arms regardless. James is there, and he's more upset over the idea that Adam can touch this girl, and that she is in fact a girl, than the idea that the two of them might have been doing the hanky-panky. Not like I think that a 10-year-old knows what the hanky-panky is, but you never know. James goes on and says that it's awfully convenient that Adam can touch Juliet, which, yes it is. It's weird that Juliet's self-proclaimed only friend just happened to show up in her cell, and it's weird that he's the only one who can apparently touch her. I'm going to ignore Warner until that is either proven or disproven, despite Juliet wanting to make sure that the readers don't forget that he can apparently touch her too. Adam takes James into the other room following this, and Juliet wonders what they're going to talk about. As they're in there, Juliet thinks that Warner's still out there, and they probably aren't all that safe, even with Adam's measures. The brothers come out, and James bluntly asks Juliet if he's Adam's girlfriend. Adam tells James that it's time for school, although James seems hesitant to leave for fear that his brother will be gone when he gets back. Adam tells James that his hair is getting too long and that it's time for a haircut. James points out that Juliet's hair is quite long, but Juliet thinks that nobody has once offered her a haircut, and when she was in captivity, nobody would let her get anywhere near anything remotely sharp. Juliet kind of sits on the floor as the two of them get ready for the day. She doesn't want to even use the bathroom in case one of the others needs to use it. She says that she doesn't want to be in the way, but this is immediately followed by her thinking that she's never felt more alive, more human than right then, which I think is weird considering that there's not even a freaking paragraph break. How human could you possibly be when you're actively trying not to be a bother and trying to wish yourself away? Chapter 35. It feels so wrong to be eating this food when James has to eat the unidentifiable substance in the foil container. But Adam says James is allocated a certain portion for every meal and he's required to eat it by law. If he's found wasting it or discarding it, he could be punished. All the orphans are expected to eat the foiled food that goes into their automat. I know that this is supposed to be some sort of dystopian hellscape, but at the same time it reeks of child endangerment to force children to eat non-food items. Adam and James explain that there's zero nutritional value to the automat substance, and it only just makes it feel like you have eaten. Like, if I forced my nieces and nephew to eat literal plastic, CPS and the police would be called. But dystopian hell, so I guess it's okay? Somebody knocks on the door after James has left for school and Adam is in the shower. 2 guns, 1 for each hand, 2 hands just in case the guns fail. Again with the idea that Juliet's various body parts are somehow able to come on and off at will, or that she can attach more. Adam comes from the shower before Juliet can open the door and points out that Warner wouldn't bother to knock. A voice calls out to Adam from the other side, and Adam identifies the person as Kenji. He goes out into the hall, but Juliet obviously overhears the entire conversation. Adam says that he'll put a bullet inside of Kenji, but Kenji says that he's already got one somewhere inside of him. When Kenji goes inside, he's suddenly way more interested in the fact that Adam actually did run off with that psycho chick than his injuries. Adam reminds Kenji that Juliet is standing right there, and she can hear what Kenji is saying. They go into the bathroom where Juliet assumes Adam is taking the bullet out from Kenji. Health insurance was a dream we lost a long time ago. Ah yes, the good old commentary about the United States being a stinking hellhole. Kinda wish that the book hadn't taken 35 out of 50 chapters to answer this singular question, but okay. Juliet sits and listens to Kenji's screams for about an hour. Adam eventually comes down and says that Kenji had been his friend on the base, but after Adam and Juliet left, Warner had tortured Kenji for information. Kenji escaped but got shot in the leg for his trouble, but he obviously made it out. Juliet brings up the tracking serum. Adam isn't sure that Kenji's serum wasn't disabled, but thinks that it's good that Warner wasn't already there. But that they shouldn't stay regardless. They're going to pack up and leave and head out as soon as James gets back from school. Kenji comes out from the bathroom and is surprised that Adam is able to touch Juliet without getting hurt. He goes on and tries to tell them what happened to him, but the things he say are so far in the realm of unbelievable that Adam and Juliet don't believe him. Now, I do, however, because this is a story, and this is how these kind of things go, but my opinion doesn't matter much in this moment. Adam says that it's weird that Kenji just happened to be picked up and carried straight to the doorstep of the one person that Kenji knows, but Kenji points out that there is nothing stopping Adam from shooting Kenji, and why did Adam even help Kenji in the first place? Kind of weird if Adam thinks that this is all a trap. But, as you might imagine, the only thing Adam seems to care about is getting James and Juliet to safety. He complains that he spent years building up a safety net for him and James, and Kenji ruined it in 2 seconds flat. Adam kind of stands there and just tells Kenji all of this without any sort of emotion, but the second that Kenji tries to make a pass at Juliet, Adam points a gun at Kenji. Because priorities, I guess. In an attempt to defuse the situation, Juliet tries to ask Kenji about the safe place he mentioned earlier. Kenji says that there is somebody who would be interested in meeting Juliet. However, Adam takes further offense about that and says that Juliet isn't some freak to show off to your friends. Kenji seems to think that they'll eventually come back to him for help later, but this earns him an elbow to the face. Chapter 36. Adam takes Juliet into the bedroom where he begs her to distract him, but he goes on this really long, panic-induced, one-sided talk about how he tried so hard to shield James from all of the horrors of the world. He lied to James about their father, didn't want James to know what their father was. Eventually, Juliet says that they should try to see what Kenji was talking about. They don't have anywhere else to go, so they might as well. Adam eventually agrees but promises that he'll kill Kenji if they need to. From the other room, Kenji asks what they're doing in the bedroom and then makes a crass joke about the entire thing. Adam is of the opinion that he should kill Kenji right then. They pack up to be ready to leave the second James gets back from school. As they're waiting, Kenji keeps making passes at Juliet. And I think that this is the author's attempt to inject some much-needed humor into the book, except that Kenji isn't funny and only comes across as this disgusting, sexist pig. This scene also goes on for way longer than it probably should have. The chapter ends with James coming home. Thanks for listening to my book Snark on YouTube. New videos are up every Monday, but stick around because sometimes I drop random videos on other days too. Just as a reminder, even if you can't financially support me, there are other ways to support me. The first is watching this video as well as all of my other videos. It's also important to like and subscribe. Finally, you can share this video with all of your friends so that they can help as well. If you're already caught up with all of my videos, you can go to Tumblr for my main book Snarks, always free and updated every morning. And if you've already read all of my main Snarks, then you can find even more Snarks on my Patreon. You can access it for $1 a month. Plus, you also get early access to my main Tumblr Snark. Special thanks to Dawn, Phoebe, and Nikki for supporting me on Patreon already. If you want to hear your name in my video next week, either support me on Patreon or make a one-time donation. Do you like my Snark so much that you want me to snark your writing? I do that too. For just $3 per chapter, I will tell you how awful that your writing is. But not to worry if you feel like you couldn't take the criticism. I also offer regular book editing as well. $3 for every 5,000 words. You can contact me on any of my social media platforms if you have further questions. If you want to read some of the things that I've written, you can purchase my works on Amazon. I have a slew of erotic short stories and one full-length novel. I also sometimes run flash sales on my stories, and if you don't follow me on any social media, you might want to do that just so you know when I might be offering more things for free. Links for everything will be posted below. See you next week, guys.